Guys, so most of you know that I am stepping back on stage this coming week. So I'm officially starting Peak Week tomorrow, and I don't know, I have so many bittersweet feelings about this. Peak Week has always been one of my favorite times before shows, and well, it's been about 3 years since I've been competing, and this is going to be some awesome crazy stuff, especially owning a gym, teaching so many classes, and trying to be functional and nice to people. So this past 10 to 12 weeks I decided I was going to compete, and I contacted my coach, Joe from Team Edge, and I've been on and off the past 3 years. And this time I said, I'm really committed. Like, this is what I need to do. I've been back and forth so long whether or not I want to compete again, and I finally made the decision to just go for it. But there was a part of me that still wanted to prove and also show other people that it's not about one thing. And for me, I love to race, I love to run, I love to do ultra events, and I didn't want to stop my whole life for that 10 to 12 weeks to just focus on that show. And so what I did was I started prep a little bit later. I stayed pretty conditioned for the most part. I was in decent shape, and after my injury, when I started running again, my body started to respond really well. So anyways, I decided to do a 12-hour hurricane heat. I did an ultra Ragnar, and I did a few other things during my prep, which wasn't necessarily bad, but you can't eat on prep for a 12-hour event or for an ultra Ragnar. So of course my eating was off a little bit, and my training was a little bit different. I also teach 7-hour cycle classes a week, so those classes plus my running, I was also working with a running coach, still am, and the battle was following someone else's plan and someone else's running plan and incorporating it to work with my schedule. So my thing was finding balance, and so I actually ended up doing a really good job of finding some balance, and I incorporated my long runs into my workouts, and I managed to stick with the plan, and I used this prep to really keep me structured. And so I noticed when I first opened the gym, I was painting and cleaning and doing a bunch of different stuff, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, it's been 8 hours since I've eaten, what the fuck? And so for me, I feel like having that structure kept me accountable to eat and also to train, because I was kind of slacking. And so it worked out, and I was still able to do a lot of things I love. And I picked the show May 27th because there are no races, big races in between that time. And I was sitting at 160, which is my weight, and I feel very comfortable at. So my prep, I've maintained my weight the whole time, but my body started to transform. My body fats went down a little bit. I was already pretty low starting back in December, and so when I started, I was like, okay, I just want to get down to 150, and I didn't see my weight changing, but my body was changing. And so I chose not to tell anybody about this prep. One, because I feel like once I tell people, then I'm almost obligated. And in my past, I have been known to get on prep and then not prep and then get on prep and then not prep. And I've done that multiple times, and my coach probably would have fucking ripped my head off if I would have done it again. And so I said, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to keep it on the down low. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing and really train hard. And so I did that. And I was able to manage it really well, and I got my workouts in, and my body started changing, and all of a sudden it's, I'm 8 weeks out, my friend Leilani comes out to do her show, and it's like ultra motivation, like I totally want to get this done, and I see how her body is during peak week and how much I missed it, and it's so crazy, and your body is capable of so much, it's insane. And so what happened is she competed, and I went and I did my ultra Ragnar that same weekend, and it was awesome. And 8 weeks out, I kept on it, and you know, we went on hikes. I did a few long runs on the PCT, and I kept my nutrition on point, and that was the biggest thing. And keeping my head in the game one day at a time. And so last week I announced that I was competing again, and I was super nervous. And the reason why I was nervous was because I am in a whole different like spectrum on the fitness industry. Now I'm OCR and I'm racing and a lot of crazy shit, endurance athlete, and then I go to the complete opposite, where aesthetics is everything and endurance, it's nothing, and it is nothing. And so going from that to that was a big change, and I was afraid of what other people would think, and people were going to disagree, and I battled with eating disorders after my last show, and I did it all wrong, and my body was so different this time during this prep. Not only my body, but my mind, my spirit, everything was completely different, and I think it's because I didn't take away what I loved, and I found what I love, and I love both of them just as much. But it was just crazy when I got some of the responses from when I posted that I was competing again. There was so much support, and of course there's a few people that weren't so supportive, and were just concerned. I think that's main concern, which is totally appropriate. So the amount of support that I had, I'm so grateful for. And so I just, by posting and announcing that I was competing again 2 weeks out, I better not be dropping now, but it was so relieving. And now this whole week of training has been amazing. Eating has been amazing. I feel super good, and that's like that feel of like just pressure off of me. And so going into peak week, and this is the first time in 3 years, last peak week I walked into peak week at like 130, and I barely got to 150 this week. And so my body over the past, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years has changed dramatically, and I built a lot of muscle, and I've matured, and it's just crazy to see the amount of muscle I have on my body compared to last time. And my bathing suit fits, so obviously I'm still small, but I'm just more compact. And so getting into the show, it's peak week, and so it's a little bit different than like a rest week before a show. And so a taper week, I guess you would call it. Actually, that is what you call it. So it's a little bit different. You still hydrate at first, and you're doing all this different stuff, but there's a way to approach it. And going into it, looking at our plan for the next week, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this again. And I'm excited, and I'm excited to see how my body changes. Your body changes the most in the last 2 weeks, and it's insane. And so I can't wait to see the outcome, and I'm excited. It's going to be at Culver City, at Veterans Memorial Park, and it is going to be super awesome. It's a muscle contest by John Lindsay, and I am working with Team Edge, and they've been my team ever since I started competing 3 to 4 years ago. So I'm one of the OGs of the team, and so Joe knows how my body responds, and I completely trust him. And my running is not going to be as intense this week, so my running coach knows what I'm doing. And the next week we have Monterey, and I have some pretty big goals in Monterey, and I'm hoping to see how my body responds to going on prep, and then the next week kind of tapering and also feeding my body to race. And then I go to Australia. So I go to Australia for a 24-hour endurance event, and I'm so excited. So the training this week has been intense, and I have a patch that I have on my backpack, and then a lot of us have it. It is do only difficult things. So whenever I'm in the gym, my bag's laying around, or I'm picking it up, getting out of my car, I have to be reminded that everything that I'm doing is difficult. Whether or not it's the eating, it's the waking up at 3:30 in the morning so I could do my fasted cardio before my 5 a.m. class, or it's eating asparagus all the time. I fucking love asparagus, by the way. Everything I've been doing has been difficult, and opening a gym being a coach for other people, holding myself accountable to another coach, and you know, it's all been difficult, but it's so worth it to see that I have finally finished what I said I was going to start 3 years ago. You know, I signed up for a show, a national show in New York, and I decided to not do it. And my mentality at that time was not so good. So I'm so grateful that I was able to do this, and I'm super excited for Peak Week. I'm going to post a lot of videos, and hopefully you guys follow me along, and I will be keeping track of what's going on this Peak Week and also next week leading up to Monterey Super. It's going to be super exciting. No pun intended. And also in Australia. So hopefully you guys check it out. Again, this is Peak Week. You're going to see my body change. Don't get scared. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm going to start taking my vitamins now. And I can't wait for you guys to see the final package. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be nuts. So if you guys want to go to the show, let me know. I'll let you know all the details of when it is. It's not the most exciting thing to watch, but it is pretty cool. So make sure you follow, subscribe, and check out. I will be posting videos the next few days. Since my workouts will be a little less intense, I will be able to have some time. So again, like, subscribe, and I will see you soon.